How's it going, and welcome to the Try Time podcast. Stay tuned for your weekly dose of rugby league chatter, discussing what's happening in the world of rugby league.
Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Try Time podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Callum, and yes, we have actually made it to 12 episodes.
I don't know why that's a significant number.
It's not
even 13.
Yeah, I thought 12. We're doing well.
Well, supposedly.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this week's episode, we're talking about the highs and the lows of this week in rugby, from all things Ottawa to all things coronavirus.
Yeah.
Standard week, really.
Standard week in rugby league, really.
It is, and let's start with where we love to start, and it's everyone's most controversial topic of Canadian rugby.
Expansion rugby league.
At this point, it's just hell hate the Canadians,
So,
I think.
Do you Ottawa, good or bad? Just one word answer now.
Good.
Yeah, I agree.
And it also goes away shutting all the people who are like Toronto should get their own domestic league up because we're one team closer to actually being able to do that.
Potentially two teams closer.
Potentially, although
I know New York's not in Canada.
I was going to say it's not a domestic league.
A lot of Canadian teams.
Mind you, we're supposedly a domestic league, aren't we? And we've got two French, Canadians, an American and a Serbian and a Spanish on the way. Yeah. And some Welsh, depending on how hard Brexit you are.
Oh.
That's probably not one to touch on the podcast. No. Moving away from Brexit then, what do we think Ottawa's model's going to be? Copy Toronto and aim for Super League as quick as they can, or...?
I think Toronto is going to act as almost like it's almost like a trial run. Not in a way of like...
It's fast becoming how to get relegated as soon as you reach your destination 101. But
they're going to learn from what mistakes were made with Toronto. I think Toronto did everything right in the first season and probably up until the championship. I think they went the year that they didn't win the champion. They won the championship, but they didn't go up. London went up. That ruined them, and that led to them overspending now and overcompensating, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that first season in League One, they signed good quality, like it were probably championship quality players. They signed them, won League One, and at that point, I feel like I remember everyone being positive about them. I feel like it's coming now. Now it's affecting more because obviously there's a bigger fan base in Super League. It's affecting their clubs more. They're now becoming more like, oh wait, actually I don't want to travel to Toronto.
But the thing is, I feel like those people were always there. They were just a bit less
not vocal
because it didn't affect them.
Yeah.
Which you can understand. It's like saying you don't like the fact Toulouse are in Super League, yet you support a League One club. You don't have a French trip.
I mean, Toulouse are in Super League, or is that just an example? I mean, you could have said Callum, really.
I meant to say Championship, but you never know. There might be next year.
I mean, it's looking good for them.
But, in that case, let's say Toulouse do get promoted. Championship clubs complaining, we're glad Toulouse are gone. You're only going to hear that because they don't have to play them anymore. It's circumstantial.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, I think Canadian teams have their problems, but they also have the benefits.
Yeah, and the expansion, the sort of what they bring to the game in terms of attraction.
It's like we've got the Challenge Cup draw in New York. Brilliant. It's evening UK time or something daft. I can't remember when it is. I think someone said it's around 3 o'clock in New York morning it's taking place.
Oh, really? So it's like...
Who's going to a cup draw? I hope to God that information's wrong, because otherwise that's stupid.
I hope it's at 3 a.m. our time, so it's at prime time.
Yeah, but that doesn't work either, because all the clubs that are left are English, French, or Toronto.
Yeah, true.
And half of Toronto's fan base seem to be English anyway.
A lot of English-based... I mean, there's a lot, obviously, there's over in Toronto people who we've spoke to as well, through messaging and stuff about rugby and everything. They're Toronto fans who live over there. So, but it's like it's in New York, it's not in Toronto. I think if it were in Toronto, could work, but I think...
I mean, I can see why New York, if they're joining, hopefully. Have you seen their programme for next year? They've got 3 or 4 NRL trial games they're doing. They've got some international teams doing a warm-up camp ahead of the 2021 World Cup.
It's looking... They seem to have stuff sorted.
They are, but they're going to have to get some good players for it to be a meaningful game.
Yeah.
Which does almost suggest they're going to go for the Toronto model.
Is that New York?
This is New York.
Is that when you say? Because when you said about the NRL trial games and the warm-ups,
Yeah.
I thought, do you mean hosting or
hosting in the Red Bull Arena in New York?
So they're not going to be putting a team there.
They will be playing the opposition ahead of a 2022 League One entry.
So they'll be playing against NRL teams.
Apparently so.
See, I read when you said that, then I that as like they're hosting it, which I thought that's a good thing. To have it in New York, you might get a few fans in. NRL's good product.
I mean, to be fair, still even doing that, it's a good product. You do question how seriously the Aussies are going to take it being a trial game against an English third-tier club that's never played.
Yeah.
Which is ironic calling New York English, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's New York, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all, to be fair, everything in America technically is English. Is like, has been born.
All right, now we're getting into we're not going into the US War of Independence, for goodness sake.
So
I know you like to live in the past when Bradford were good, but this is a bit too far.
So Ottawa, anyway, we need to speak. I think.
What about the name?
So Ottawa Aces, you're not a fan, are you?
I'm not a fan. I think
I love it, mate. I love it.
I feel like the Wolfpack has more branding to it, but then I don't know. It kind of go with Toronto's. Is it hockey team?
It's Ottawa's hockey team is called the Blackjacks or Blackjack Ottawa Blackjack. So he said, you can't have Blackjack without the Aces.
I mean, I guess that kind of works a bit better.
If they're basing the whole
if that's
sort
the
of thing
strap
off
line, it probably works in the local area.
I mean,
it's not as catchy as Toronto's Run with the Pack.
I mean, if they've got some sort of dual registration agreement with with the Blackjacks, that's what you can't
going to get some US hockey players turning out against whoever's in the league. To be fair, sorry West Wales Raiders, they might have a chance.
I think I don't know. I remember like when Toronto was in League One, and I think they live streamed all I think the games were on Premier Sports, but they also like live streamed them on YouTube. They live stream on YouTube. I'm
YouTube or Facebook Live.
It was YouTube, and I remember I used to sit and I'd watch their games, and I'd be like, it's quite exciting. This new team. It was like this new team sort of coming in, and then obviously it's sort of died down. And when they got in Championship, I don't know. They just sort of changed There was sort of. I feel like there was just a different perception about them. Whereas when they were in League One, I feel like everyone.
I feel like they also got a lot of hate though, because League One there's not many, if any, full-time players in League One.
Full-time quality players, because none of them are full-time, I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's what I mean.
I mean, there were some full-time when Bradford were down there, but that one when Toronto were down there.
Yeah, exactly. And you had a lot of issues in terms of people not going to Canada, and just generally, it wasn't a weekend away day that everyone could fit around the 9 to 5, and that does cause problems at that level a lot more than Super League, and I think a lot of people have forgotten that these last few years.
I mean, Ottawa have spoken, going away from sort of like, because I think it's not to get too dumped down into sort of the whole argument. That's a whole different argument of sort of like, does having a team in Canada, the effect that has on the other players.
Yeah, you can't blame them for being in Canada. If you're going to apportion any blame, that's to the RFL for saying yes to them. You can't blame the club for that.
So I think because like Ottawa have said they're going to be going for more of I feel like they're going for more of trying to bring up youth through.
Which is one of the biggest criticisms labelled at Toronto, so that's a good start.
Local players. I mean, Toronto I don't think it's been announced, but they're definitely moving to re-sign Quinn Nguati, who they obviously had back in there to fit in off of the cap as like dispenser. As is Canadian. They've got rid of Gary Wheeler to St Helens. Obviously, I assume it's sort of like that's a like-for-like replacement, which has left them with some cap to probably sign a couple of one or two forwards.
Which, yeah, we've each got our opinion on Toronto's squad. Keep an eye out for the feature video coming out in the next few weeks once Callum learns how to edit it, on how we would both rebuild Toronto under a few different scenarios.
Aside from the podcast, I'm not going to let Matt mug me off like that, because saying I'll learn how to edit.
Learn how to edit this type of video because we're going for something quite different.
We're going for different, and I want to improve the quality of everything. So I'm kind of learning that job, but I feel like I'm doing all right. So we're going to try and get these videos higher.
Poll in the corner, is Callum doing a good job of editing? Yes or no?
I'm going to fix it to both yeses. You can only vote yes. I think I'm doing all right. But I mean, that's aside from...
If he does do that, please just comment no.
Will you be a fan of Ottawa? When they get, are you going to be?
Will I be a fan of them? No. I'm a Leeds fan through and through.
If Ottawa come into League One, right, with a full Canadian team of just Canadian brought up players,
100%. I will support them wherever they are if they have not even a full team of Canadians.
A respectable amount.
Yeah, exactly. And I know people are going to say yes, but when Toronto joined, Canadians counted on the overseas quota, which was absolutely stupid. I don't know why anyone ever thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, true.
But
I think as long as they can
Toronto,
stay under cap.
I know it's only 4 years into the programme, and to have quality youth coming through takes longer than that. But we've not even seen anyone even mentioned as an academy player or anything. I'm seeing no young players joining Toronto that aren't.
It's got to be one of the most
buys from other clubs.
Got to be one of the most oldest clubs. I mean, when we do this Toronto video, which is like how we'd each rebuild Toronto, we're going to be sort of touching on like the squad more in depth. We're each gonna. We don't want to give away too much actually. But
no, let's not go any further than that.
But we're going to be getting in depth. We're going to be getting in depth.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that with all the talent that's coming out of the NFL, for God's sake, Jared Hayne didn't really succeed in the NFL. If Jared Hayne can't do it, and he's one of the best fullbacks to grace the NRL in recent years when he's on form anyway, then surely there's other talent that was ready for the championship coming out of the NFL.
Or that you could definitely learn.
You could retrain them to be an upper League One quality player. That's just a rotation option on your bench.
That's just big and can run.
Yeah, and hopefully Ottawa will capitalise on that more. New York as well should have a great pull from that talent pool.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a lot of American talent coming through New York.
I think New York is such a big market. Because I think Toronto and Ottawa are not necessarily the biggest markets.
I mean, Ottawa maybe...
America.
I think we forget that Toronto is probably one of the biggest cities in Canada, and Ottawa is the capital. There's a market there, and I know we're saying this thinking, well, London have got one of the smallest fan bases, but
I feel like in America, a lot of it is about like the market of the city. So I follow, obviously, like I've said on podcast before, I follow basketball, and Toronto is not a big market team, but like a New York Knicks. Toronto are a mile better team at the minute than New York Knicks, but New York Knicks are such a bigger market, like fan base wise, because they're one of the. I don't know what it is. It probably because it's New York. It's the same with like the LA teams are bigger than say a Milwaukee team or any.
Well, to say we're closing in on nearly a quarter of an hour discussing expansion in Canada and everything else. I think probably the last thing to point out is obviously Toronto spent a lot of money on wages, encouraging people to move over there. Being New York. I mean, this is not really an Ottawa question, which is what this whole thing meant to be.
But it's all tied into that as well. It's all come from what.
Will New York have to pay players less to convince them to go to New York because it's New York?
It depends how it goes.
I think the answer is yes. I think you want to move to New York more than you want to move to Toronto.
Yeah. I think what that is, though, is that by the time New York get into League One, which is in a couple of years, there's already going to be Ottawa. I would predict there's probably going to be either Ottawa and Toronto both in Championship or Toronto in Super League.
Well, that depends if Toronto hire one of us two to do their squad rebuild.
Yeah. No, but they could
if
go
not, enjoy the Championship. If so, welcome to the Promised Land.
But the fact is, if Toronto go down this season, they're probably going to be favourites to go back up, so they could be back up.
We'll find out, won't we? Not to plug anything further.
But what I mean is like, so at that point, New York, there's going to be so much more sort of a roadmap of how to do it and how not to do it. Yeah. And I feel like it's not going to be in terms of like, it depends if the games are going to be, if it's going to be you in New York a lot of the time, because at the moment the Toronto players are not in Toronto the majority of the season.
No.
Instincts, yes.
And that kind of comes into the whole home advantage point, which is a completely different thing of whether or not there is much of an advantage playing in Canada.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like we leave the North American market there and head closer to home, well, a coronavirus-infected home.
Yeah. Closer to home, the whole
Catalan have announced that they are playing Saturday's fixture against Leeds behind closed doors. I hope all the fans who have got paid a lot of money to travel there
you pay that in advance
to get that back. I'm not sure what the situation of that is going to be. I'm glad I'm not going, but yeah, not an ideal one. Italy's in lockdown, although they have seemingly got a lot bigger issues than we have.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
Where do we see this going? Is behind closed doors really an option? Especially considering not all games are televised.
I feel like a stadium. I mean, I don't know. I feel like neither of us know enough about it, but I mean, for me, it's not an actual. It's getting bigged up too much. But that's the deal.
Yeah,
I don't want to
agree.
argue about. But I feel like, end of the day, I feel like you're not saving anyone by taking away the option to go, because I can guarantee 90% of them Leeds fans, probably more, would not give a shit if they caught corona whilst watching Leeds play Cal.
I mean, this is the thing.
I can guarantee it.
Especially if half of them are not going to get the flights and stuff back anyway, so we're just going.
Exactly.
Like, they could catch it out in a pub watching the game if it was televised, but like, first of all, this goes back to the thing with the Premier League. What's the point of shutting a stadium knowing all your fans are going to flock to watch it on Sky in an even more confined space where they're more likely to catch it?
Exactly.
You've also got the issue of, I think 80% at least, it will just be like the flu.
Yeah.
Potentially for some a mild flu, others might have it more severe. If you know you have a pre-existing condition or are in that high-risk group,
that should
make the conscious decision yourself over whether or not you are happy to take those risks and go to matches. It's not a nice decision to have to make, but people are capable of deciding themselves, and to rule out the option for everybody, knowing full well the club are probably going to have to issue a refund or credit on the season tickets for that. For the home fans,
it's going to cost clubs an absolute fortune.
I would be annoyed if Leeds made the decision to do that, because I would go and take the risk.
Especially since not all games are even televised. I mean, I know. Obviously,
that's it, and I feel like clubs would have to almost find a way to stream them to their fans and have to sort that out.
Yeah, but you can't. Why are we even playing rugby then? Because I'm sorry, but if I'm going to be stood next. I know obviously this game, a Bradford game that I'm going to be going to hasn't been called off. But if I'm sat there next to my nan and just the general fans around me, just sat, I'm not like going around hugging everyone. You know what I mean? I'm sat there watching, and obviously I'm talking to people around me about game and the general sort of stuff that I'd go on at a game. Right. Well, I'm pretty sure that there's more chance of Big Steve Crossley's got coronavirus in scrum. Oh, that's all them players getting it.
I mean,
let's stop playing rugby altogether.
Well, if the players were tested positive, they wouldn't play.
No, but what I'm saying is you don't know.
I mean, that's probably the bigger issue here. If a squad gets infected somewhere along the line,
it's stupid.
But if you're postponing games because the team's infected, that's completely different. Do you know what I mean?
It's like a zombie apocalypse, this, man. It's so stupid. But my point is, right, surely, if it's one of them where you can catch it off anyone, anywhere, and people who have it who don't even know they have it, then it could, like, rugby is more, I mean, there's more contact in a game of rugby than there is in sitting and watching a game of rugby.
I mean, there's more to life than rugby. I appreciate thinking of the fans, and I don't know the full situation.
Then give them a choice,
in the south of France. But it's not the Italian side of the south of France. And like you say, people are mature enough to make their own decisions about. I mean, there's people who come back from Italy and are even self-isolating. So why are we really trying to protect people?
Because all it takes is someone who rings up who's got it And I think the ring
There's people at my work that have come back skiing from Italy and haven't self-isolated.
Exactly, people.
Whether they have the symptoms or not yet, who knows?
Because people are just like, it's stupid. I've got more, statistically in this country at least, there's more chance of me walking down the street and getting hit by a car. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to leave my house.
That can be arranged.
That's it now. Wait up. This podcast is not.
Well, he's driving.
If you're hearing this, I've made it. But yeah, I think we're just going on a bit of a coronavirus.
Let's move on from coronavirus. I'm sick of hearing it in the media, and
Yeah.
this probably isn't helping.
Now we've got a big, as you can see behind us.
Callum has brilliantly stole some tri-balls, one of which I've had to put the other way around because it's got a muddy footprint on it. Talk about high quality here.
I haven't stole it. They were handing them out at Bradford,
a non-challenge cup, yeah.
Bradford Sheffield on Sunday night. So I thought I might as well.
They're not waiting a week to send them to Wakey.
There'll be a load at Wakey. We'll probably get a few at Wakey.
Yeah, to be fair, we can add to our collection.
Yeah. So Challenge Cup weekend. I mean, as a obviously Bradford fan wearing it, looking forward to it. Obviously Leeds aren't in it yet, but I mean you're off to Bradford Wakey.
I've been roped into this one. Come on, train.
So.
Let's start with the fourth round tie. Whitehaven, Dewsbury. It's the rearranged fixture from last time. It makes sense to start here, really. Who do you think is going to advance?
I think Dewsbury.
Who does the winner play?
The winner. Now you're asking.
I don't know the answer. I've not really paid enough attention because we
I
haven't
am
yet.
pretty certain it may just be a championship team. It's not a Super League team.
Okay, fair enough.
But I obviously sorry about not knowing that off the top of my head, but we've got all the other fixtures, but obviously that fixture has not been played at the weekend. But I want to speak about Dewsbury actually, on really good form in Championship, playing really well. I think 4 wins, 1 loss, or 3 wins, 1 loss. They've beaten some good teams so far this season. Halifax, a very good. Well, they've proven they can be a good team. They challenged Lee at the weekend.
We can't say York are a good team. That's another issue.
York, yeah, that's another issue. But I mean, I just think Dewsbury playing well. I think they'll beat Whitehaven. I don't think there's much to it.
Fair enough. Let's move into the 5th round then, and it's Toronto Huddersfield kicking us off. As you're watching this, tonight, now, in an hour or so.
On our league, isn't it?
I believe so.
I'll put it out.
Oh God, we better not put it out in that, otherwise nobody's watching it when it first comes up. Imagine we forget to share it anyway for about 2 days, so it doesn't really matter. Who do we think's winning that then?
Well, obviously, the majority of people listening to this have already know the score. It's you're probably not listening to it as it comes out at 7 o'clock.
Okay, we're going to look like geniuses here. Well done, Huddersfield. Congrats on making it into the next round.
Toronto 18-0 win. Oh. No, I'm going to say Huddersfield will rest a few players, but I think they'll win. I'm going to say probably.
We're going for our second Undertaker reference in as many weeks. The streak continues again.
19-18 to Huddersfield. I think it'll be close.
Ooh, that's a bold play. Apparently, we've also got Toronto Huddersfield in both grounds. I think that's a load of rubbish. So I'll move on to that's Super League. I don't want that one.
Not yet.
We'll move on to Super League after the Challenge Cup. Featherstone Hunslet, Friday night game. Probably the place I'd rather be, actually.
Is that at Hunslet?
It's at Fev.
It's at Fev. Oh, that makes me think Fev. But otherwise, I would have said Hunslet. If it were at Hunslet, because Fev will rest players. They won't have the league.
If I wasn't being dragged to the other Friday night game, I would have liked to have gone to that.
I think because Hunslet are a good team in League One, and Fev
promotion chasing.
Probably, yeah.
I think so.
And Fev are sort of like they will rest players. Yeah. They've got a squad where they can, and they'll obviously not have the Leeds boys. I would imagine they won't have like Liam Sutcliffe playing for them like they had last week.
No, I mean they might have some of them.
They probably have like an
Wellington Albert,
Alex Sutcliffe, ones who aren't Nate Leeds team.
I don't know because if we get a centre injury, I can see Sutcliffe getting in.
Yeah, but you literally give both Sutcliffes to Fev. Last week.
Liam's coming back from an injury. Alex hasn't got a route in with Cody and Hurrell. I think if you get a lower league opposition, Leeds are playing Alex in centre.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, so they'll probably rest him then.
I wouldn't give him to Fev. Not this round, anyway.
Yeah, well, we don't know the agreement.
No, we don't.
So, but I think Fev probably win. Hunslet will put up a good fight though.
Yeah. Moving on to the big one then, Wakefield Bradford, which we are hoping to be at.
Why are we hoping? Are we not going to be there?
I mean, I hope so.
You know what? I'm going to promise you we are going to try and film some sort of like as we're there, we're going to try and do a bit of filming, like live reaction.
So if you see an idiot waving a camera about, it's probably him.
We're going to try like a different style of sort of like video for that, and hopefully like you can enjoy it. But we'll see. We'll see Matt's reaction.
I'll try and capture his tears as Bradford dumps out the Challenge Cup.
What's your prediction?
I think Wakey are going to win.
What score are you thinking?
What were the score at £1 million game other year? Cause
I watched highlights of it yesterday. It was
prepare yourself for defeat.
It was 18-16, and then Scott Moore scored. So I'm pretty sure it was 24-16.
I'm gonna go for something similar. 24-12 will go, just to be nice to Wakey.
Is that Wakey win?
Yeah, Wakey are on good form this year. They weren't last time. Bradford will put up a fight. Wakefield might rest a couple, but I think they'll be too strong.
I mean, Bradford, I think we're gonna go for it. I mean, we're on form at the minute. To be fair, we played really well against Sheffield. But I mean, that's on Sunday. Wakefield last played, I think, Friday night against Hull. So that's a really
good fight.
That's a shorter turnaround for sort of a part-time.
Golden Point won it.
Yeah, Golden Point. I mean, it didn't go deep into Golden Point. I'm not going to say they had to play an extra half hour.
But to say you pretty much mocked my thoughts of saying Wakefield were going to win that. That was a pretty good guess.
It sounded like it were a good game, to be honest. Yeah, I've seen highlights, but obviously it wasn't on Sky.
Let's move on then into Sunday's cup fixtures.
Bradford are going to win.
We know you think Bradford are going to win. I'm not getting you started on Bradford because you'll both shut up. What will it say about half an hour podcast? We've already nearly filled it, and I'm not letting you finish it off with Bradford.
It's a good job Leeds are playing. Well, I mean, Leeds are playing.
They are. We'll get onto them in a bit. Sheffield, Workington.
I feel like some of these now, one word.
Workington.
It's at Sheffield. Sheffield are good at home.
OKR Lee. OKR have got bigger problems this year.
Lee are sick this year.
OKR do not need a cup run. That's the last thing they need.
Yeah, to be fair, you're right.
Swinton. No, they won't go. They won't lie down, but they probably do.
Widnes Swinton, you say? Yeah.
Yeah. It's at Widnes.
Swinton pushed Fev close, so I'm going to Swinton.
I think Widnes. But yeah, just going back to OKR quickly. I don't think the fans will be too disappointed with a loss. They know they've got a much bigger fight, because if Toronto do pick up some form in Canada, or just generally improve to a good level across the season, they're not out of danger yet. I mean, they're very much in that group.
Toronto have basically played. Toronto have played last year's top 5 and Leeds, they've played good. This
is a good question. All of Toronto's non-Canadian home games have been against the big boys, allowing the teams they're actually playing in Canada to be the winnables. Cats, Saints, they're two of your toughest challenge. Like I said, I don't know the fixture listing well enough to know if they're the loop games.
Yeah.
They could be the loop games, in which case there's nothing in it. But otherwise, there's something for the NFL conspiracy theory tinfoil hat people to get on that. Got to keep them interested. Finally, Rochdale travelling to seemingly the easiest place to pick up 2 points at the moment, Bootham Crescent. They're off to York.
Rochdale, York need the win. I think York are going to try.
York are going to get through 2 cup matches before they even won a league game.
Yeah, probably.
Right, let's do one word Super League.
Is that all Challenge Cup?
Apart from the one that's not going to be played yet.
There's not that many, is there really, when you think about it?
No, but then I suppose we've got the next 8 coming in the next round, haven't we? So we only have 8 games.
Yeah, and then that's round of 16.
Yep.
It comes around quick.
Hull Warrington, Thursday. It's at the K-Com.
Hull.
We've always said no Gelling, no party. Gelling's back, Warrington are back.
So you're going Warrington?
Yes.
I'm going Hull.
Salford, Wigan.
Salford look poor.
Wigan. Salford are in trouble.
Wigan are looking good.
Trinity, Huddersfield.
I imagine that game's not going ahead.
No, I imagine not, because it's apparently on Friday night.
Two games at
which we're going to watch?
Bit of both.
Half and half. Do you want to have half a pitch each?
Maybe they've got.
It's like getting kids on rugby at half time.
Maybe they've got Wakefield 16s versus Huddersfield 16s at half time.
Maybe so. I mean,
as a curtain raiser. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean Huddersfield as well. 2-day turnaround for them. They could struggle. I think I fancy Huddersfield to just continue it though in the non-existent game.
To be fair, Huddersfield teams basically ex-Bradford anyway, so they could probably just pull on Bulls jersey.
Right, Catalan Leeds. Pains me to
Leeds.
say it, Catalan.
Leeds. Callum won't have the fans there, so I think that'll affect him.
Maybe so, but neither will, mind you. Yeah, more of an issue.
It affects Catalan more, it's their home.
Yeah, and also they're used to having, away teams are used to not having massive numbers.
Yeah, true.
I don't think OKR Toronto's going ahead either, do you? 2 games on Sunday for OKR.
Yeah.
We've got Leanne Toronto. Basically, Paul Rowley's ex-clubs are rising from the ashes now. Castleford Saints, that one should be going ahead.
Yeah. All the good, obviously it's the top 8 from last season.
Classic
isn't it? So it's all
Cass
the
to get
good ones.
another home win, I think.
I mean, I'm not going to say...
like Cass.
Cass aren't rolling because obviously they lost to Warrington, but they're still lost by 1 point.
Yeah, I like
before
Cass
that,
this
and
year.
Saints are not looking too good. But
Can
I'm
we
going to
just
go
point out how terrible Austin, Truman, Richardson, we're all at drop goals.
Who else had to go? They all had to go.
At this point, I feel like blooming Jesse Senna-Lafayette might have had a kick or something stupid. I didn't think he would play.
No, he will.
What
Who ended up winning? It was Austin, wasn't it?
Austin. Nice to see he's finally recovered from going missing against Leeds.
You wanted to get that in there, didn't you?
Yes, he was absolutely awful.
So that's them all, isn't it?
That's them all. And we've come in a minute over what we wanted.
No, I'm
31
happy with
minutes.
that. I'm happy
I'll
with
take that. To be fair, there's probably a minute of you prattling around at the start, so...
No, well, we're going to have a look.
We'll cut that
speaking. Now, we're speaking now. So, we set schedule of 7 o'clock Wednesday with a main podcast.
Who's top in the fantasy league? You've not bothered to tell everyone. I'll
They're
leave
gonna
him
be
in
upset.
charge for 1 week.
They're going to be upset.
It is a Cass fan, continuing the whole Cass on
So-
the road thing.
I've got it up here. Chris Armitage, Tigers fan, he's a top overall with 3-4-1-3 points. Then we've got, and there's a lot further down, but the weekly winner, which we're doing every week, is a good friend of mine, and he's coming on the podcast at one point, Lewis Brunty. I know you're watching, Brunty, so shout out.
Can we all just take a moment to realize that his best team is still behind a team dedicated to Chris Wellham?
Yeah. Yeah, but it is what it is. So shout out Bruntyfoot Weekly, shout out Armitage, and that's...
Shout out Chris Wellham because he's
That's
Chris
the fantasy.
Wellham.
So yeah, as I was saying, Wednesdays 7 o'clock for the main podcast. Saturdays 6 o'clock for another video. We're trialing a lot of different types of videos.
So let us know what you like.
Yeah, let us know what you like. Obviously, we can see what sort of like by the reception videos are getting, what sort of stuff's working. Thanks for the support on the Saturday video just gone. That's been really overwhelming for us.
Yeah, if you've not checked it out yet, please push us over 250. We are about 10 views away.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean,
if
not, that's fine. We'll just
If not, we're just going to share it to hell till some of you go on. I'm going to be honest.
Saturday NRL kits, and then we're not sure. We've got sort of if we get a Wakefield video done on Friday at the game, that'll be up. That won't be in our schedule.
That'll probably go up on the Sunday.
Maybe Sunday, Monday, sometime
Sunday
around.
after the rugby to get the real post-match effect.
Yeah. Thanks for the support. Make sure you're subscribing as well, because we know a lot of you watching aren't subscribing, and obviously you can if you don't like watching.
If you've not got a
you
YouTube
can
channel
listen.
and you're watching, make one.
Oh, and if you've got an iTunes account, go on Apple Podcasts.
Spotify,
Drop us a review.
Anything.
It makes a difference. It helps us. It helps us know.
Please don't give us a 1-star. If you're going to do that, don't bother.
If you're watching this video right now, I want you to comment something below or put something on Facebook about whether either constructive criticism or something that you
We've
like.
all commented no for when you fixed the poll earlier saying, are you good at editing?
Yeah, probably. But something like that, a bit of interaction, let us know what you want and we can improve. We're trying to get the quality up there. There's going to be a new little end screen on here that I'm going to make tonight after this. And I know it's going to be banging because I've got the idea in my head already. So enjoy that. Quality's coming.
At least it's not me signing you up for more editing work this week.
Quality's coming up, and thanks for keeping the
Why
spot.
are we changing host? Are you being sacked?
Yeah, by the way, now it's just me on my own. Matt's getting pushed over there. Right, thanks for watching. See you Saturday. Bye.